Gloria Neal has the story that is positively Georgia.
All the way from Clark Atlanta University, a bullet. How can something so small change so many lives? We're getting answers to a story we first brought you last month that is following allegations of a mold problem at a local daycare. The people west and south of the state waking up to widespread damage. This is video from Pensacola, Florida, and you see rain just violently coming down.
You know, they do this.
She even took the time to suit up and help me with my game.
Just a few hours, some of the same people who helped get the governor elected will now publicly scold the governor. All the way from Clark Atlanta University to Hollywood, California, and back again. One of Atlanta's own comes home to share how he landed the lead on a major network and why his story, well, it is so positively Georgia.
I'm Carter.
Carter?
Detective Carter.
Carter.
He is the star on a major network. He is a young black actor, and his show is a primetime series.
God is good. Yes, Lord Jesus.
Joking aside, Justin Hires stars in the upcoming series Rush Hour, set to air tonight on CBS. His hard work finally paying off.
I've been grinding for 10 years.
It's got plenty of action.
I do about 80% of my own stunts.
And he's got plenty of jokes.
You just go keep on walking. Yeah, I'm a Z-list celebrity. I'm at the very, very bottom.
Talk about your Atlanta, Georgia connection, because there's a huge connection here. This is home for you.
I attended Clark Atlanta University. Graduated magna cum laude, majored in mass communication, radio, TV, and film, and I feel like Atlanta's my second home.
Originally from Florida, Justin was discovered by MTV while attending Clark.
And so, yeah, it's a privilege and an honor to step into those footsteps.
He stopped by the campus radio station WSTU 98.1, where he worked as an on-air personality. He was encouraging students on this day, though.
To many, it would appear that I came out of absolute obscurity. But I heard Will Ferrell say it takes 10 years to become an overnight success.
Upon reflection, it's clear that everything hasn't been funny for this funny man.
And, you know,
It's okay.
she trying to make me cry, y'all. Atlanta, she trying to make me cry. But yeah, it was a lot of work that I put into this, and you know,
The hard work pays off.
The hard work pays off, absolutely. And you know, I just want to be a beacon of hope, you know, and I just want any young kid out there to know that anything is possible.
There you go.
As for his portrayal of Detective Carter, Justin knows there are those who will say he's trying to be like Chris Tucker. He had this to say about that.
And I think when people watch the show, they'll see the difference between what Justin Hires brings to the role of Detective Carter opposed to what Chris Tucker brought to the role of Detective Carter.
What about your rise to stardom makes your story so positively Georgia?
So much in life are a lot of obstacles, and I feel like if you really work hard, believe in yourself, have some sort of faith in something. You know, I'm a spiritual guy. I believe in God. And I believe if you really implement that into your lifestyle, that you can achieve anything.
Justin says he recognizes how fortunate he is to have an opportunity like this. However, he believes that luck is created when opportunity meets preparation. Rush Hour airs tonight at 10 right here on CBS 46. Gloria Neal, CBS 46 News. A bullet. How can something so small change so many lives? After all, a bullet doesn't know who it's meant for or why it's being sent. What is known? Once it gets to its intended target, no one, young or old, will ever be the same.
Callers state they were fighting, one shot heard.
The youngest among us. Those victims, the ones with the most to look forward to.
My most valuable thing in life is being a mom. I love being a mom.
Those shootings are the hardest shootings to take.
If people knew the pain that it causes families.
It is quite upsetting that kids can put their hands on a weapon without even knowing the impact that weapon has.
Eusebio and Lerona Phelps are unwilling members of a club no parent wants to be a member of. It was 2 years ago, November 2nd, that their son, Sammy, was killed by someone with a gun. Lerona says she remembers it like it was yesterday.
Finish this sentence for me. If I had known that that was the last time I'd speak to my child, what would you have said?
I think if I knew that that would be the last time, that I talked to Sammy. I would have said, Sammy, I would never forget you. Like I hold him in my heart.
According to the Justice Department and the CDC, children in the United States are 14 times more likely to die from being shot than in any other country. And that number is even higher for Black and Latino children. There were just over 32,000 gun deaths in this country back in 2011, and of those deaths, 591 were ruled accidental, and of those, 102 were younger than 18, and 50 of those were younger than 13 years of age. Those are the latest numbers the government has on record. Since then, there have been thousands of young lives lost, leaving families scrambling to find a new normal.
Do you ever think about what he would have been and how he would have looked on his wedding day? All those things.
I think about it all the time. It's amazing. Just last week, I was having a conversation with one of my clients, and she asked me, Lorena, what's the hardest part of all of this? I said, the thoughts of what could have been.
But gun deaths affect more than just the families.
A lot of times when officers get on the scenes of young children that are injured and hurt or stuff like that, it does affect them differently.
Lieutenant Canton with the Atlanta Police Department says that's one reason they started a peer group within the department.
Our peer group is just there so that way they have a fellow officer to talk to who's been there before, who's seen that before, who knows what that person's going through, and then can talk to them, help them decompress.
Lerona also started a group.
Mothers Against Guns and Gangs. And I had no clue, because there's no manual on how to start these type of things or how to do this. I had no clue, but I knew the more I actually put my hands into it, the better I felt.
He shot him in the back 5 times.
Angela Washington became a member after losing her son, Ryan. She says it doesn't matter if you have kids. The gun problem is everyone's problem.
We have to be more focused on our children and our next door neighbor children and my children down the street. I think that's where we lost it as a community.
When you pull that trigger, there is no coming back from that.
And even though police officers can't make the law, Lieutenant Canton says he understands why officers get frustrated when a child loses their life because someone didn't lock up a weapon.
Secure the weapons to protect your family. Do what you can to protect your children. Make sure your children, hey, they know what's there, and tell them what it's for. So that way they don't find it and think it's a new toy and play with it.
I did not want to be a member of this club.
For more information about Mothers Against Guns and Gangs, as well as how to keep your gun out of the hands of children, go to our website, cbs46.com. Just click on the web link for the gunfight. And the most decorated Olympian of all time will soon have a new title, and that would be Daddy. Michael Phelps announced on Instagram that he and his fiancée Nicole Johnson are expecting their first child. The baby boy is due in February. Isn't that sweet? Phelps and Johnson plan to get married after next summer's Olympic Games, and Phelps training to compete in his 5th Olympics after coming out of retirement in 2013. And honey, if you have not seen him swim, ooh, he is phenomenal.
CBS 46 News presents Public Affairs on Peach.
And good morning to you and welcome to Public Affairs on Peach. I'm Gloria Neal. April is Autism Awareness Month. And in this edition of Public Affairs on Peach, you're going to learn and hear a lot more about autism. Got a recent report from the CDC that's showing there is no change in how common autism is. CDC research diagnosed 1 in 68 children with autism. That number has not changed in 2 years, and health officials say it's too soon, really, to conclude whether the prevalence of autism has stabilized.
The take home from this data is really saying, okay, now we have yet one more estimate suggesting this is a really common neurodevelopmental disorder.
The report adds that boys are 4.5 times more likely to have autism than girls. So now we are going to explore that subject further in the next half hour. Beginning with our first guest, Dr. Cheryl Clayman. She is the senior psychologist at the Marcus Autism Center. So thanks so much for being with us. Now, you want me to call you by your first name or
first
Dr.
name is
Clayman?
Fantastic.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks
Cheryl, there
me.
is so much. You are so welcome. Thanks for joining us. It is so very, very obvious. So many people say, well, what is autism? And just take us back, because as our viewers are watching, start at the very basic level. Talk about autism.
Sure. So autism is what we call a neurodevelopmental disability. And so that means that it affects an individual's ability to socially interact or engage in these reciprocal back and forth interactions with other people. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, describes autism really as a group of developmental disabilities that affect an individual's ability to socialize, communicate, and engage in more behavioral challenges that we might see.
Right. And so how is autism diagnosed and treated? I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges that most people have, even those who have family members or loved ones who have to deal with that aspect of it.
Sure. So autism is diagnosed by bringing your child to a center such as Marcus Autism Center.
Weekday mornings on CBS 46 News, Gloria Neal and Bobby Capel bring you local stories from overnight. The news you need to know now.
Drivers using bridges that are structurally deficient.
CBS 46 Morning News, weekdays from 4:30 to 7.